to welcome everyone to my channel. Thank you for showing up, and if you'd like, go ahead and subscribe from down below or wait to the end and you'll be able to subscribe there. When you subscribe, you can hit the bell after you subscribe so you can watch more of my videos. So today I'm always on the cheap as best I can, and I bought a Keurig 2.0 for my daughter because she wanted a machine that would brew her a cup of coffee right away and she could head out the door or whatever. She didn't want something that would do a big pot. Well, the big pot is still available for this machine if she would like to use it also. So anyway, today I'm going to show you how to clean the 2.0, how to take it apart and put it back together again after you got it clean. So let's get at that part. Okay, this is the machine I bought for my daughter. It is a 2.0. It's a little fancier than my machine here. My machine here holds more water, so I'm happy with it. And just real quick, I do use these reusable, which I have this set already. I have my coffee in there. It's a filter that you can clean, put the brand of coffee you like in here, and pop it right in. If you didn't want to use that, it has this insert that, and there's an arrow there, put it towards the top, click that in, and now you can use these little coffee pods. Pop that in, close it, and it's ready to go to make coffee. Of course, you got to turn it on, and this one only has 3 sizes. That size is the best for me because I drink a little bit larger cup of coffee. So that's just a quick glimpse. So let me pull it out. You put your finger in the back and you push this up, pull that out. Now this will fit in there. Bam, you're ready to start making coffee. And this one, I will admit, if you're worried about noises, this one's noisy. This one here, to clean it, you don't have to turn it off. I have it turned off right now. So what you want to do is you want to take this apart so you can see the dirt in it or the coffee remnants that builds up in time. So the way I take this apart is I grab a hold of this piece here from the bottom and I pull it out. It has this little catch right here that just kind of snaps into place. And this here, I don't know if you can see it or not, it's marked with a 1. That's one piece. This here is marked with a 2. And to get these two separated, you see that tab there and that tab there, you push those in and go ahead and push this up and it comes apart. There, now you can clean this, which I've already gone through and cleaned this. Here, this here measures what you've done to the pot, whether you're just going to do hot water only. It'll know it because you didn't put a pod in here. If you set the pod in, which I'm not going to, but there's the little needle down there. Once you shove that in, somehow or another, which I imagine this moves a little bit, tells it has a pod in there. And you can see the bigger it is, the more this sticks out. There's the needle right there. This is a good way to see how clean you got it. And if you wanted to, I do believe you can throw this stuff in the dishwasher if you have time, or you can hand wash it if you'd like. But you have those pieces there, and then inside here is the drip tray. The coffee runs down here, down in through the hole, and comes out into your cup. And if it has to overflow, this is low enough, it would come over, and it has another hole that would make it drop faster. So anyway, I have this clean. This one here on the back side is marked with a 3. So that's 3 pieces you have. Put it back together again after you wiped all this down. And you can wipe up here, but remember there's a needle up here too. But you can wipe all this down, make sure it's clean. Oh, by the way, this here pot was pretty clean, so I don't know if it got used very much. But I wanted to get it clean anyway because it came from someone else's house. I'd almost say this pot came from someone that was possibly going to college, and so they wanted to cup in the morning and head out is what it was. But to put them back together, this here just slides right in, it's in there. You don't have to do anything. This here, you need to put back together again, which obviously this here is round. So put it around with that rounded part. Get these tabs just inside the cup. Pop it. You heard it click. It's in there. It's ready to go. You see these words. Make sure they come out towards the front. And you just set it in there. And you heard it click in. So there you go. You're ready for that. But to show you another extra, if you had the coffee pot that goes with this machine, it has a divot right in here. That the coffee pot also has the divot on it that would slide right in there to make sure it's up close enough. On the water reservoir, it shows you have to have at least this full to make a pot of coffee, and a pot of coffee is approximately 4 to 5 cups. Otherwise, they do have a maximum line here. You could fill it up as full as you can get it. So this is the one that is for making the pot of coffee. You can see right there it says 4 to 5 cups. And if you'd like to read this, you can stop the video and take a look at it. Now this was also at the thrift store, and it was only $1.99. See how much those things are on eBay or Amazon, or go to your favorite store. These are expensive, so that's why I say it's worth shopping at a thrift store. Now this is the one that comes with the pot normally. It's still wrapped up, hasn't ever been used. This one here, we happen to go to a store where you pay by the weight. So this thing here probably cost 25 cents. Check that online. You're not going to get it for that much. Here it shows that it'll lock shut. And what you can do is turn it a little bit. There's a little green tab in here. It says that's how full you're supposed to put the coffee, not any fuller than that. And that way you can use whatever brand you want, including that other one. And make sure when you're putting it back together again that this tab that's sticking out, put it there with it. I started at the unlock. You turn it a little bit and it's squared up. Now it's ready to go right into your pot. This here has to go in the front of the pot because that's what's measuring what it is you have into this pot. This here moves. So you just set it in there and it's flush. You close your pot all the way down. Now I have this one turned off right now. You see that little light there with that circle and the line? That there is how you turn it on. And to turn it back off, you'd push that button or hold it and it will shut itself off. Right now it's preheating the water because I had it off. And so that'll keep going around until this is hot enough to make a cup of coffee or a pot of coffee. So right now we're gonna do a cup of hot water, but we're pretending we have coffee inside that filter. Now if I didn't put that in at all, didn't put nothing in, this machine will know that you're just going to be putting hot water through this machine and into your cup or whatever you have down here. Which I will admit, if you eat cup of noodles, college person or a single person, that's what I do with my machine. I'll open it up, I'll run this through to heat my cup of noodles up. So there we are, we're done. It says the lift to begin, so it thinks it's already brewed a cup or whatever. So all you do is open it and close it again. Okay, let me get this camera closer so you can see what this thing's showing us. Okay, so right here it says it's ready. It says it'll do an 8 ounce, a 10 ounce, then it goes back to 4 and 6. So if I'm ready for the 6 ounce, we'll say, oh, by the way, right over on this side, it says dark. If you push that, this machine will run slower, dumping the water through to get every bit of flavor out of the grounds you already put in here. Hit it again and that goes off, so you just have a quick cup of coffee. This next one says hot chocolate or other. Now that there would more than likely be another one of these capsules that you could put in there and you'd click it if that's what you wanted to do. But anyway, right now we're going to do just a 4 ounce to show you how fast it puts out the water. And like I say, this here is actually very quiet compared to my other machine. Now when this is done, before it heats up again, if I know I'm not going to have another cup of coffee for a while and you're going to try to save energy, you'll be pushing that button off, which I'll do that just to show you how to turn this machine off. Okay, there it's done. Now it's going to start heating again. I'm going to tell it I don't want it to. Hold that button. It just went off. Now the heater shut off inside, so it's not heating the water. Okay, let's get back to turning it back on. It's going to go ahead. Okay, it's already hot. So we're going to take this one out that just made let's call it a cup of coffee. Okay, now let's get the orange one out. This is the one that's meant to do a pot of coffee, but it will also do the cups of coffee also. And here, this one's easy enough. You just pop it open, you put your grounds inside here, and if you're a country boy, you put what grounds you like, and then when you're ready for another cup, you just keep stacking those grounds up each time you make a cup until this thing gets too full. Then go ahead and dump it out and wash it out and start all over again. Some people can't handle that, but don't knock it till you try it. So let's just say that we put our grounds in here. Again, this here needs to be put in front of this. Needs to be put in front of this. So it clicks and it's totally flat, we'll say. Now you go ahead and put it down. Because of this one, we have a whole new selection of things. You can push the number 1, and that's for your pot of coffee. Now, actually, I go to number 3 because what if I want to make a thermal cup of coffee? there we go. We have the 14, 12. Okay, it only does 12 and 14. To change the number, here we're on number 4, it does an 8 ounce, 10 ounce. So 4, 6, 8, 10. Let's try number 5. Number 5 will do, okay, number 5 is the one where you have 2 cups. One of the cups is for the froth that you're going to put in first, and then it'll tell you when to change the cup, and you put your coffee pot in, and so that way you have a fancier cup of coffee. My brother says to go to a 2, and here it says 14 ounce, 16 ounce, 12 ounce. So that's pretty much, for me, that's perfect, because this is a 12 ounce. This is a 12 ounce cup. Pour the water out of it. Now let's go ahead, and here again you can push the strong or not strong. Like I say, strong's going to make this thing perk slower to get all the flavor out of your coffee grounds that you put in there. But for this demonstration, I'm going to leave that off. Now if I had coffee in that pod there, it's going to brew and bring my cup up to the ounces that I need in there. And you can hear that pump clicking back and forth, pushing that water through. Like I say, this one here is much quieter than this one, but realistically, I don't care. I just want my cup of coffee. As you can see, the water is going down as it's brewing the cup. And it does say hot, do not lift, because it's busy brewing. It says please wait. So there I have my full cup of coffee. I have room to put my creamer in there if that's what I decide to have this time, or I have room that I can take this cup and walk outside and it's not going to spill all over. So you decide what size of a cup you have and go from there. So there it is, heating again. Now, like I told you, if I was to take this pot out that I put my own grounds in, I can close this now. We'll wait for it to heat up. Okay, here it says dispense hot water. That's because it knows it doesn't have a pod in here, and it doesn't have one of these reusable filters. It has nothing, so it knows to go ahead and dump hot water. So I'm going to push continue. Now I have my ounces. It says 8 ounces, 10, 4, 6, 8. So that's all the further it goes is 10 ounces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 4 just because we're just going to dump some hot water. Like say we have no filters in there or anything else. And now we're doing, per se, a cup of noodles, which obviously I'd want more water than that. I'd do at least a 10 and see if I need more hot water for my cup of noodles. But there you go. It's not much water in there, so that's good for Some people that drink tea. Heats your water up. Perfect. So on the back side, what you can do is you just pop this lid off. That's how you add water in here. And this tank comes right off. It's got a little hook here that keeps it from falling backwards. And all of this down here fits into a groove here. And you notice I have water in here. It won't come out unless it's setting back down, and it has a deal on the bottom that lets the water dump. There's also a water filter. Some of the people have to buy these separate, and they're not cheap. But also the little pod that's inside there, that there is charcoal in there, so you have fresher, cleaner water. And it also has a dial up here, so you can dial normally what it's got numbers in there, so you can do what month it is or whatever. I live in the country. I have a well. I have good water here. So here you get these in line. Make sure that goes in its hole. Bam, we're done. But anyway, I have a... Oh, go ahead and wash this thing out. Take that filter out, wash this thing out inside and whatnot, just to make sure everything's clean. Like I said, I've already done all that. But anyway, I have a well, so I have clean, good tasting water. The only thing I have coming through my well is a little bit of limestone. Well, I don't want the limestone in my machine, and so that filter will catch the limestone going through. And also what helps, this zero water filter, especially if you live in town where you have chlorine and everything else. I will admit these are kind of expensive, but it's well worth using this in your machine. Fill this thing with water, it'll filter through, then obviously it opens up here, you can dump it right in. And if you don't want to use one of those filters, they do have water you can buy from the store. They sell it by the gallon or whatever that you can put inside here. And what kind of water do they call that? Oh, distilled water. If you use distilled water in the back of here, if you don't use your coffee pot that much, you're not going to end up with algae thinking about even growing in here. Now I use the coffee pot enough, and I have the well water. I don't have problems with algae or anything else, but it's still good to take this and clean this every once in a while. Pull that filter out, clean your tank, pop the filter back in until it's time to actually change that filter, and you should have a good clean machine, and the inside shouldn't be filling up full of calcium and all that other nasty stuff. You'll notice that there are people, when they turn their machines into the Goodwill store, these are just nasty looking. And if you want, I don't recommend it, but you can run vinegar through these like you can normal coffee pots. But the problem with the vinegar is this has got rubber seals, and that's supposed to kind of weaken them, eat them up or whatever. So your best, which is expensive, but they do make a cleaner for the Keurig to clean the inners of this machine, so it'll keep producing the right amount of water, the heat, and everything else. Anyway, like I say, my daughter, she didn't have it yet because it's here, but when she comes into town, this is hers. And I'm not getting rid of my baby. I love it too. So there you go. I hope this helped you on cleaning your Keurig, because you want to pay attention that you want to stay nice and fresh as you can.